Namaskar viewers, hello and welcome to this special telecast on Sansad TV. I am Tina Jha. In an age where technology is reshaping every aspect of human life, artificial intelligence is emerging as one of the most transformative forces of our time. In India, AI is not just powering our growth or driving innovation. It is being harnessed to protect something far more enduring, our civilizational heritage and linguistic diversity. We are all aware about India's cultural heritage. It is vast, rich and multi-layered. From ancient manuscripts and monumental architecture to performing arts, crafts, folklore and indigenous knowledge systems, our heritage is living, evolving and deeply rooted in language. It is carried across generations through scripts, spoken forms, regional expressions and community memory. India is one of the most linguistically diverse countries in the world. As per the 2011 census, we have 22 scheduled languages, 99 non-scheduled languages and thousands of mother tongues and tribal dialects across multiple language families. Each language is not merely a medium of communication, but a repository of knowledge, identity and worldview. Recognizing that this heritage is both our inheritance and our strength, the government has launched sustained institutional, educational and digital initiatives to preserve and promote it. At the heart of this effort is the democratization of technology. So ensuring that AI serves people in the languages and formats that they understand and trust. Through emerging digital public infrastructure for languages, including platforms like BHASHINI, Anuvadini, Gyan, Bharatam and Vaani, India is building systems that enable translation, voice recognition, manuscript digitization, knowledge access, and the inclusion of tribal and endangered languages. AI tools are today being used to digitize fragile manuscripts, translate academic and classical texts, document oral histories, and bring indigenous knowledge into contemporary digital ecosystems. So in a sense, these measures are aimed at bridging the gaps between heritage and people, between tradition and technology, most importantly, between the past and the future. It reflects India's broader vision of AI as a force for global good. So technology that serves humanity, protects diversity, and strengthens inclusion. So how transformative are these initiatives? How far can AI go in preserving languages and cultural memory? Also, what challenges remain in ensuring that technology remains inclusive, ethical, and accessible? We'll explore some of these aspects and more on this special broadcast. We are joined by a distinguished panel of experts who will help us understand how AI is reshaping the preservation of India's rich cultural and linguistic heritage and what this means for our future generations. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome on this telecast today Dr. Sachidanand Joshi, Member Secretary, Indira Gandhi National Centre for the Arts, IGNCA. Dr. Joshi, thank you for joining us on the program. Welcome to Sansad TV. Also delighted to have with us Padma Shri Chamukrishna Shastri ji. He's founder of Samskrita Bharati, also chairman of Bharatiya Bhasha Samiti, Ministry of Education. Sir, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Delighted to have you with us, join us for this special conversation. Joining us virtually is Professor Anil D. Sahasbuddhe. He's chairman EC NAC and chairman NETF. Professor Sahasbuddhe, thank you for taking out time and joining us for this important conversation. So before losing out on any further time, let me straight away get in perspectives from this illustrious panel that we have with us today. To you, Dr. Joshi, first. So India, we know, has preserved its knowledge through evolving mediums. So from palm leaf manuscripts to print to digital. Now, in this journey of civilization and our rich heritage, do you think AI is the next natural step?
Yeah. You see, when we talk of our rich knowledge tradition, which are stored in the treasure of manuscripts, in different kinds of manuscripts, we have more than 40 styles in which manuscripts are kept, like palm leaf, like birch bark, like cloth, like papers and other things. So huge treasure of manuscripts. Perhaps India is perhaps the biggest treasure of the manuscripts in the entire world. But the challenge is to decipher those manuscripts. Unless we decipher those manuscripts, we teach people how to read all those scripts. There is no use of having those manuscripts. And to train those people in different scripts is also an uphill task. That has to be taken up by some institutions, some government agencies, universities, schools, colleges. It is also a mammoth task. I think AI is becoming handy to decipher those manuscripts. That is the most important thing. Once we decipher those manuscripts with the help of the AI tools and with the help of making them readable, making them decipherable, I think it is going to be a very easy task for others to sort of critically analyze what all has been stored in our manuscripts. So that is the important point. So it's not going to be the next step. AI is not going to be the next step, but AI is going to play a major supportive role in building up the rich knowledge tradition, more concrete, more accessible, and reaching to a wider range of people.
I think that's precisely the point here, Shastriji, that it's not just a tool for preservation, it's a tool for participation, where you are actively engaging your people with the heritage. So connecting the past with the future, with the present and the future, and bridging that gap between heritage and technology. How transformative is that shift according to you?
Yeah, there are 1,369 mother tongues, languages and dialects in India as per census 2011. Number one. Number two, you see, there were 6,000 languages before the printing technology was there. And the languages which did not adapt printing technology, some 4,000 languages perished. Now, even in this digital AI technology era, if languages are not adapting technology, then they will have serious problems, number one. So AI technology, see, NEP 2020 promotes multilingualism. It strongly advocates multilingualism. So that means every citizen should become more and more multilingual. Of course, India is a multilingual society. To learn another language, technology has to be leveraged. So through technology, we can offer all language courses in any part of the country. A citizen of any corner, sitting in any corner, can learn any language of the another corner of the country, number one. And through the AI tool, he can access to any literature of any language. He can, through the translation, he can understand the. So this is how technology, AI particularly, will connect people from every corner of the country, and this tool, AI particularly, this technology can bring people nearer, hearts and minds nearer. So the Bharat has always been united and harmonious because of the that harmonious feeling, एकता का भाव जो था, इससे भारत एक रहा है. AI टूल से फिर से ये एकता और समरसता, भावैक्यता और फिर व्यवहार में आएगा.
Absolutely. I think that's the essence here. We've often also heard the Prime Minister say that diversity, which was perceived to be one of the weaknesses of India, actually emerged to be one of the most defining strengths of the Indian democracy, and ensuring that democracy is not just evolving but thriving day by day. Professor Saraswati, let me bring you in here. It's often a perception that technology favors the globally dominant languages, and one needs to adapt to the shifting technology. It seems India has tweaked the rules of the game as per its own comfort and its attempt to preserve the rich heritage and the linguistic diversity, because now the emerging tools that we are leveraging is to strengthen our own classical languages. Also the endangered languages. One couldn't have imagined that this could be, technology could be used in a manner that that could be so transformational when it comes to preserving and promoting our linguistic heritage.
Thank you, टीना जी. सबसे प्रथम जो बार बार हमको ध्यान में आता है कि टेक्नोलॉजी यानी अंग्रेजी, ये पहली गलतफहमी है. AI is a great tool, or this is a great technology for कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्ता, what we say artificial intelligence, which is language agnostic. In fact, depending on what data set you feed, what kind of information you feed, the tool will learn by itself. like a child in the childhood starts learning the mother tongue from home, and then gradually when gets into the school learns another couple of languages and maybe more languages. AI is a tool which can be made to learn multiple languages and also translate from one language to the other language. And therefore, when we talk about communication between people to people, if I don't know certain languages, but I speak in my language, the AI tool can translate and communicate the same in the language of the choice of the candidate for whom we are going to discuss.
Right.
ये अनुवाद करने की भी शक्ति इसमें है। और बार बार ये बताया गया कि हमारी जो भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा है और बहुत सारे पोथियों में अलग अलग वर्शंस में लिखी गई है, एआई अपने आप ये समझ नहीं सकेगा, तो एआई के लिए कुछ अपना ज्ञान को भी उसको उपयोग करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि स्क्रिप्ट को रिकॉग्नाइज करना, उसके लिए ओसीआर टेक्नोलॉजी है, उसके बाद उसमें क्या लिखा है, उसके शब्द के अर्थ क्या है, कुछ तो बेसिक फाउंडेशनल लर्निंग मॉडल उसको जब तक नहीं देंगे तो अपने आप वो हमारे पोथियों को, ग्रंथों को समझकर आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस उसका उपयोग नहीं कर सकेगा।
Absolutely.
तो ह्यूमन इंटेलिजेंस की भी उतनी ही जरूरत है। तो इसलिए एआई का एक पावरफुल चीज जो है कि वो एक आदमी के अंदर जिज्ञासा पैदा करता है, कौतूहल निर्माण करता है। तो उससे क्यूरियोसिटी जब निर्माण होती है तो आई एम श्योर many people will come forward and then help in deciphering many of the granthas which are there in our ancient times to now into our knowledge base or data sets, and subsequently they will be used for teaching learning processes, for innovation, for research and all other purposes.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the most important bit, that it should be used as an assistive technology, as an enabler of the transformation that we are talking about, and it should not be taking over the kind of change that we want in terms of preservation and promotion of our culture and linguistic diversity. Based on what has been said, Professor Joshi, when the AI tools read or restore the manuscripts, what are the challenges that one has to keep in mind? Professor Sasbudi spoke about how that human angle has to come to it in terms of the prompts that are given, in terms of the direction that has to be given about the translation and about the deciphering that needs to happen. Because what's also important is we do not want the cultural nuance, the philosophical depth to get lost in translation.
Yes, exactly what happens is you have to see the percentage of accuracy in your AI tools, like Anuvadini tools which AICT has started, or BHASHINI. They are all tools and they have some percentage of accuracy. If it is a plain simple translation, maybe they have a high percentage of accuracy, maybe say around 85 to 90%. But when it comes to the old traditional manuscripts written in different scripts which have not been deciphered so far, or which are very rarely deciphered, the percentage of accuracy gets down. I mean, it comes down to maybe say 65 to 70%. Other than that, there is also a thing, Professor Shastri is here, he is an eminent scholar of Sanskrit, he knows better than me, that even if it is written something, it does not give you the literal meaning. There has to be some other meaning also, which is hidden meaning, bhavarth jisko bolte hain. So to decipher that meaning is also the task of the experts. When they come to the translation part, it's not just literal translation, but you have to also decipher the proper meaning. What does it mean by saying these words? That is also very important. So it's not only based on AI learning, as Professor Sasbudi has very rightly said, that human intelligence has to play an important role in that. So AI can assist in making the things faster, putting the things together in an easier manner than the task of scholars, eminent experts, human intelligence, that comes. And it is also a very uphill task, but it is saving time, it is saving your much of an human effort. That is the advantage of having AI in it.
That's true. The accessibility part is taken care of. It makes it much faster. But that accuracy thing has to be maintained by the humans. And I think, Professor Shastri, that is where the concern will always lie, that you want it to be accessible and faster, but you do not want the layered and the precision meaning of the text to get lost somewhere. these concerns, how do you expect them to be addressed? Because AI is being now used very, very rapidly, and the manner in which it's being adopted across sectors is very rapid. So these concerns have to be also addressed adequately and effectively.
जी, ये तो टेक्नोलॉजी को ट्रेन करना है. ट्रेन करने के लिए उस भाषा में कंटेंट चाहिए, डिजिटल कंटेंट चाहिए. जितना ज़्यादा भारतीय भाषाओं में एआई टूल का उपयोग किया जाता है, उतना एक्यूरेसी लेवल बढ़ेगा. इसलिए हमें ज़्यादा हर भाषा में एआई टूल के द्वारा इसका अनुवाद करना और कंटेंट डेटा दान अभियान करेंगे तो बहुत लाभ होगा. डेटा दान, डेटा क्रिएशन एक विषय हो गया. दूसरा विषय देखिए, एआई फॉर इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस, एआई इन इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस, एआई थ्रू इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस, ये 3 प्रकार का काम होना चाहिए. एआई फॉर इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस यानी भारतीय भाषाओं को सिखाने के लिए, प्रचार करने के लिए, पढ़ाने के लिए एआई टूल का इस्तेमाल करना. एआई इन इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस यानी टूल को भारतीय भाषा में डेवलप करना. एक छोटा सा उदाहरण बताता हूँ. अभी कन्नड़ भाषा से अगर गुजराती में अनुवाद करना, हिंदी में अनुवाद करना, इंटरमीडिएट स्क्रिप्ट इज इंग्लिश स्क्रिप्ट. इसका परिणाम क्या होता है? निर्मला सीतारामन, आप संसद टीवी का ही वो ये देखिए, जब यहाँ निर्मला सीतारामन जी भाषण करते हैं, अंग्रेजी में लिखा रहता है निर्मला सीतारामन, रामन. हिंदी में आता है, स्क्रॉल आता है सीतारमण. सीतारमण अलग है, सीतारामन अलग है. उनका नाम ही ये इसलिए होता है कि रोमन स्क्रिप्ट इज इंटरमीडिएट लैंग्वेज. सो दैट इज व्हाई वी नीड टू डेवलप टूल इन इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस. तीसरा है एआई थ्रू इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस. एआई का प्रचार भारतीय भाषा के माध्यम से अगर हम ज़्यादा करेंगे, भारतीय भाषा माध्यम से थ्रू इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस इसका प्रयोग करेंगे, तब एक्यूरेसी लेवल बढ़ेगा. भारतीय भाषा में ये एक्यूरेसी बहुत बढ़ेगा.
बिल्कुल, आई थिंक दैट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट दैट यू हैव मेड, दैट इट हैज टू बी, द सॉल्यूशन हैज टू बी लोकलाइज्ड, बिकॉज इट्स नॉट अ ग्लोबल बेंचमार्क. वी आर अडैप्टिंग टू अ सिस्टम wherein we want the solution to be addressed in our own languages, in our own ways in which it is interpreted by the people. Professor Sahasrabudhe, so in order to strengthen India's multilingual AI ecosystem, we are seeing that consistent efforts have been made by the government towards strengthening and building a digital public infrastructure. But what role can the educational institutions, the research institutions play in adding to that strength? Because as you rightly said in your earlier answer, that without human intervention, we cannot rely completely on AI. So that human intelligence has to be provided by the young research scholars, the students, the academicians. So where can they come in?
आपने सही कहा कि भारत में हमारा डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हम अनेक अलग अलग एप्लीकेशंस में ऑलरेडी देख चुके हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, हमारा फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शंस जो होते हैं यूपीआई के थ्रू, सब लोगों का उसके ऊपर कॉन्फिडेंस भी है, उपयोग भी हो रहा है, और दुनिया के 50% करीब डिजिटल ट्रांजैक्शंस जो है भारत से हो रहे हैं. लेकिन हमारा पॉपुलेशन तो 1/5 1/6 के आसपास है. तो इसका मतलब हमने बहुत बड़ी छलांग डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में लगाई है. लेकिन जब हम एआई की बात कर रहे हैं तो ट्रेनिंग करने के लिए जो कंप्यूटिंग पावर चाहिए, एक कंप्यूट पावर, एआई कंप्यूट पावर, ये आती है जीपीयू से, ग्राफिकल प्रोसेसिंग यूनिट. और एक ही कंपनी है दुनिया की सबसे बेहतरीन, जो एनवीडिया, वो इसको सभी लोगों को सेल करती है. आज भारत में करीब 30,000 ऐसे जीपीयूज है. लेकिन हमारा लक्ष्य है कि अगले कुछ 1-2 सालों में हमको कम से कम 1 लाख के ऊपर जीपीयूज हमारे पास रहेंगे. तो उनको सभी लोगों को एक्सेस देते हुए, अलग अलग भाषाओं के लोगों को उसका एक्सेस देते हुए, अपने अपनी भाषा में ट्रेनिंग करवाने का काम एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूट बेहतरीन तरीके से कर सकते हैं. यानी 1,000 तेलुगु के लिए दीजिए, 1-2,000 तमिल के लिए दीजिए, मराठी के लिए 1,000 दीजिए, हिंदी के लिए 5,000 दीजिए. ऐसे जीपीयूज का एक्सेस जब हमारे कॉलेजेस और यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के पास रहेगा तो हमारा भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा का जो विषय है उसके साथ साथ जोड़ते हुए, हमारा भाषा का साथ जोड़ते हुए, विज्ञान और तकनीकी शिक्षा के लिए भी जो ज़रूरत है, वैद्यकीय शिक्षा के लिए, विधि शिक्षा के लिए जरूरत जो है वो अलग अलग मॉडल्स अपने अपने देश में हम करेंगे तो हम चैट जीपीटी, को पायलट या जेमिनी जैसे विदेशी जो टूल्स है उसका उपयोग न करते हुए हमारा एक सॉवरिन एआई, हमारे भारतीय का एक अपना एआई बनाएंगे और उस दिशा में कार्य चल रहा है। मैं दो ही उदाहरण देना चाहता हूँ। सर्वम एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म तैयार हुआ है, भाषिणी है, हमारा अनुवादिनी है, तो जिससे हमने ट्रांसलेशन के लिए तो काफ़ी काम किया है, लेकिन ओरिजिनल जो कंटेंट है उसको सीखने के लिए मशीन्स को कंटिन्यूअसली ट्रेनिंग देने की काम जो है वो काम अभी चालू हो रहा है। आज ही एक बहुत बड़ा कार्यक्रम हुआ, आप जानते हैं भारत बोधन एआई का उद्घाटन हुआ भारत मंडपम में। आईआईटी मद्रास को ये कार्य दिया गया है। उसके पहले ही 3 सेंटर्स ऑफ एक्सेलेंस इन एआई फॉर एग्रीकल्चर, क्योंकि एक बहुत बड़ा हमारा खेती करने वाले जो किसान बंधु भगिनी हैं उनके लिए वो आईआईटी रोपर से चल रहा है। और हेल्थ केयर यानी हमारी चिकित्सा व्यवस्था अच्छी होनी चाहिए, दूर दराज के लोगों के लिए भी मिलनी चाहिए, जहां डॉक्टर भी नहीं है लेकिन फिर भी उनको मिलनी चाहिए। ऐसे करने के लिए एम्स दिल्ली और आईआईटी दिल्ली मिलके एक सेंटर ऑफ एक्सेलेंस तैयार किया। हमारे अर्बनाइजेशन बढ़ रहा है, बहुत सारे सिटीज़ आ रहे हैं, यहाँ की व्यवस्थाएं ठीक नहीं है। हम स्मार्ट सिटीज़ की बात करते हैं तो सस्टेनेबल स्मार्ट सिटीज़ के लिए आईआईटी कानपुर को बताया गया। तो ये सारे तीनों शुरू हो गए थे, लेकिन सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है शिक्षा सबको जोड़ता है, तो और इसलिए एआई इन एजुकेशन के लिए आईआईटी मद्रास को चुना गया है। उसके साथ बाकी आईआईटी भी काम करेगी और मेरे ख्याल से अगले 2-3 साल में हमारा ओन ओरिजिनल सॉवरिन एआई जब बन जाएगा तो दुनिया को हम एक एआई कैपिटल के रूप में प्रस्तुत कर सकेंगे।
बिल्कुल, we've already set a benchmark in terms of utilizing UI for AI for different problems and finding solutions. But when it comes to having our own AI, it will take care of all of these concerns, especially with regard to maintaining that accuracy and efficiency in translations, in preserving our manuscripts, in the translations that we have spoken about in the earlier rounds. Since you spoke about democratization of technology, that takes me to the next question to you, Professor Joshi. In democracy, power and representation matter. Every community, every sector wants its own representation. How important is it that smaller linguistic communities and some of the communities whose language is now on the verge of extinction, how do you think this kind of a step or the measures that we've been undertaking to ensure that there is accessibility but there is also adequate representation for every language, how do you see those smaller marginalized linguistic communities finding a place in the digital ecosystem that we aim to create?
You see, the kind of digital ecosystem we have ensures space for everyone, space and scope for everyone. Because now since we have a ample scope of digitization and documentation, which was never happened. Actually, when you document and digitize everything, then it comes on a record so that anybody can read, decipher those things, or their literature can also be transferred to some other languages. They can be translated to some other languages. Another thing is that there are many languages which do not have their own script. They are borrowing script from other countries, Latin. For instance, Chammu Krishna Shastri ji has given you an example. There are many languages, dialects which are spoken, they have ample literature but they do not have their own script. Maybe with the help of AI, and as Professor Sahasrabudhe has said, if we have an indigenous AI, we can also help them in providing them a model of their script which is Indian, which is Bharatiya. That is the most important thing. And if they are Bharatiya scripts, then of course the interaction will increase between two languages or two dialects or different literatures. That is the democratization. And as you said in your introductory remarks, that it should also be inclusive. So in that process we can include everyone. You see, we can't dance on some other's tune. We have to make our own tune to dance with. So now, since the entire platform and AI generated tools have been developed and designed by some other people, they have their own grammar to design it. We have to find out something which is giving essence of our own culture, our own philosophy, our own traditions. Only then this interaction will increase. That's my point.
I think you hit the nail on the head, because our heritage, our linguistic diversity shapes our identity, shapes our global view. And Professor Shastri, in that aspect, there is a concern that this indigenous knowledge should be ethically used, and it should not be misused or misinterpreted in any way. How do you think we can also take that factor into account, that something that we are proud of and something that we have preserved, something which we value so much, is not misinterpreted or used unethically?
बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न किया, लेकिन मेरा एक निवेदन है, ये जो इंडिजिनस शब्द है ना, वो लोकल या इंडियन अर्थ में इंडिजिनस शब्द नहीं है. वो इंडिजिनस इज द वर्ड यूज्ड फॉर द ओप्रेस्ड languages or oppressed people in the colonial countries, etc. etc. So as far as Indian languages are concerned, फिर दूसरा भी एक विषय है, एक एक भाषा का एक एक आइडेंटिटी है वगैरह हम बात करते हैं. देखिए, अब ये छोटी भाषा, बड़ी भाषा, मेजॉरिटी लैंग्वेज, माइनॉरिटी लैंग्वेज या ओप्रेस्ड लैंग्वेज, ऐसा कोई चीज़ नहीं है. दे आर ऑल एजेंडा ड्रिवन वोकैबुलरी. आई वांट टू मेक इट क्लियर टू द पीपल ऑफ इंडिया. माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी बार बार बोल रहे हैं, भारत के 1369 भाषाएं भी राष्ट्रभाषाएं हैं. कोई एक भाषा राष्ट्रभाषा नहीं, सभी भाषाएं राष्ट्रभाषाएं हैं. सो ऑफ कोर्स ऑल लैंग्वेजेस, लेस नंबर ऑफ स्पीकर्स, भाषा के लोगों को भी इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलना चाहिए. That is great, and AI provides that opportunity for everybody. But for the development of any language, भाषा के विकास के लिए 7 आवश्यकताएं हैं. उस भाषा में बोलने वाले लोग चाहिए, उस भाषा में उस भाषा को माध्यम भाषा के रूप में प्रयोग करना चाहिए, शिक्षा का माध्यम, प्रशासन का माध्यम, एंटरटेनमेंट का माध्यम वगैरह वगैरह, यूजिंग इट एज ए मीडियम. 2, 3, उस भाषा में लिटरेचर होना चाहिए, कॉन्टेम्पररी लिटरेचर होना चाहिए. एंशिएंट लिटरेचर होने से पर्याप्त नहीं है, कॉन्टेम्पररी लिटरेचर. 4th, देयर शुड बी ए कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस ऑफ वर्ड जनरेशन होना चाहिए, तब भी भाषा विकास होगा. 5th, एडेप्टेशन ऑफ द टेक्नोलॉजी. 6, टीचिंग लर्निंग व्यवस्था. 7वां, पैटर्नेज. ये सारे अगर होते हैं ना, हर एक भाषा का विकास होगा. तो इस प्रकार हमें सभी भाषाओं को विकास के लिए अवसर देने के लिए अभी टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग करेंगे.
I think our approach is suited to scaling inclusive AI, making it accessible, making it user friendly. I think that's something that we've already established through the measures that have been used, through the participatory nature of these, some of the tools that we've spoken about. For example, BHASHINI has been an immense success. Professor Sahasrapati, as we wrap up the conversation, you've spoken about how different stakeholders are pitching in with their solutions and making sure that it aligns with our larger vision of AI for humanity. In the next 10 years, if these initiatives that you've spoken about, some of them are at a very nascent stage, some of them are still being thought about, once they are implemented in the next 10 years, what kind of change do you envision in our efforts to preserve our cultural heritage, our linguistic diversity, without any kind of concerns or challenges that still persist today? We've spoken about them, but in the next decade or so, perhaps that journey will have taken care of those concerns.
Very, very important, pertinent question that you have raised, Tina ji. First and foremost, Prime Minister has been talking about decolonization and confidence in our own systems, our own language, our own culture, our own traditions. AI is a great enabler for democratization, not only in terms of providing education, in terms of scientific knowledge, in terms of finding applications. And one prominent thing which is observed today itself, as I said, when I was in Bharat Bodhan AI Summit, in Bharat Mandapam, there are 120 startups who are working on various versions of AI in different languages for learning several types of activities, including psychological counseling, to how we can create confidence amongst students and learn a particular new language. All of that is happening. तो मैं तो समझ रहा हूँ कि आप 10 साल की बात कर रहे हैं, जिस स्पीड से हम चल रहे हैं तो अगले 2-3 साल में ही हम बहुत कुछ करके दिखाएंगे दुनिया को कि हम किसी से कम नहीं हैं. और मेरे ख्याल से विकसित भारत होने तक, यानी 2047 के बहुत पहले ही हम दुनिया को एआई का एक कैपिटल के रूप में देखा जाए, ऐसा देखा सकते हैं।
Bilkul. Responsible use of AI is something that India believes in. All our efforts are aimed at ensuring that AI is inclusive, AI is accessible, and AI is democratized so that the benefits percolate to the last person, to the person standing last in the line as well. With that message, we'll have to wrap up this conversation. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us for this engaging conversation, sharing your thoughts, your experiences, most importantly, and messages to our youngsters. And to you viewers, thank you very much for your time as well.
To watch more programs of Sansad TV, subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share them.